Good morning, everyone. Hi, it's Tracy with TRCast. And today is an exciting day because we have a brand new product launch. We just sent the email out to all of our customers yesterday. Hi, Mary. Hi, Julie. Thanks, guys, for popping in. And it's one we're excited about. We've been working on it for a while. And as is normal for a product launch, we've got Kierston, our product development manager, is joining us so she can talk about the process of how we, everything that it took for us to create this line. So I'm bringing her in. She's muted, but she'll fix that. And she says she can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? Oh, uh-oh. You guys pop in. Let me know if you can hear me. And Kierston's muted, but she'll fix it. Kierston, they say they can hear me. So you just need to unclick the mute button at the bottom of your window, the StreamYard window. She did it. Hi, Kierston. She still can't hear me? Oh, this is not good. Let's see how to fix that. Everybody else says they can hear me, Kierston. Okay, sorry guys for the delay. We will maybe Kierston, you can back out and come back in, and then we'll see if everything works. She can't hear me. So hold on, guys. We're gonna work on this for a minute. Oops. Okay. I'm going to watch for her to come back in, and hopefully all the sound will work. She and I were just on, and everything was fine. So let's see if she pops back in and see if that works. Yeah, and Kelly, I could hear her typing as well, but apparently she couldn't hear me. Always fun. The tech challenges are always fun. I'm kidding. They're not. But you know what? Let's just hold on. Says her device is not connected. Are you here?
I'm back and I can hear you this
time. Sorry about that. Kelly says tech drives me crazy. Oh my God. Yeah, me too. But when it works, yay. And when it doesn't, you just gotta keep poking at things until something works. So all right. So you guys, Kierston is here because it's product launch week. And yes, and this is a little bit different. Kierston, I'm gonna minimize your screen for just a minute so I can they can see the flyer better. This collection is called La Pura Vida, or La Pura Vida, I think is a more accurate pronunciation. It's Spanish. It means the pure life. And we liked that name for this group because this group is less about a lot of new parts and more about an expansion of our pewter finish, which has lots of wonderful, I told Kierston I was minimizing her screen, so I should show you guys the flyer a little bit more, but it's 6 pages. So it's that big because we added a few new parts, but a lot of the components involved are recently, oh, I like this feedback, were recently added to our line in that finish. So I'm going to bring Kierston back in, and I'm going to switch my screen. And then she and I can talk to you guys about what is so wonderful about this new antique pewter sort of treatment. So I'm going to minimize you. So everybody can, I hope, see the larger screen, and then Kierston off to the side, a little bit smaller. And as we like to do when Kierston's with us, we want to hear about the inspiration and the process for creating this group of parts.
Yeah, so you're right. It is definitely a different kind of launch for us. If you have been with Tierra Cast for a long time, we've been casting here in California with pewter for how many years, Tracy? 45?
It'll be 45 this October.
Yeah, 45 years. And pewter
Mm-hmm.
is really, I'm a metal nerd. I love metal. Pewter's a really, really cool metal. It's a metal that people have been using for hundreds and hundreds of years.
If not thousands.
Yeah, well, I'm bad at math, but
Sorry, guys, I'm
you
trying to get zoomed in a tiny bit.
Yeah, the Vikings used pewter. I mean, people have been using pewter for a really long time, and pewter has changed a lot throughout the years. And the way that we approach our pewter that we cast with has changed a lot throughout the years. We've gotten it to be just such a gorgeous finish. It's really bright. It's it doesn't oxidize because we use a water-based lacquer, which is like a lot of lacquers are solvent based. So the water-based is a little more environmentally friendly, which is cool. But the really cool thing about pewter is that it's malleable. So you can work it into different shapes and work it in ways that you cannot do with a plated part, or you would have more difficulty doing with the pewter part. And the pewter finish is something that we didn't have a ton of, just the raw kind of beautiful base metal finish. And people have increasingly asked and special ordered this finish throughout the years because it really is just a very gorgeous color. It looks a lot like sterling silver, plays really well.
Some of these larger pieces up. It's a little bit darker. It's slightly more rustic than our plated silver finish.
To me, it really looks like an oxidized sterling silver. It plays really well with other componentry from other people too, like steel componentry. I love it. I think it's a beautiful look. Not so shiny. We really fine-tuned the finish with our Dolce Vita line, which was very, very popular.
Yeah, those are, let me show some people some examples of our Dolce Vita.
And I see Tanya. Yeah, so those are the original. That's kind of what pushed us to embrace the beauty of the pewter right there. And I see that Tanya is asking, hi Tanya, by the way. Tanya is local to us, so I've actually seen her booth at craft fairs, which is really cool. And it does not tarnish quickly. So the cool thing about our pewter finish is that we are lacquering it. And modern day pewter for jewelry, I should say, doesn't include lead. Old pewter examples included lead, and it made it really, really dark and really, really soft. So we do oxidize in-house our pewter to bring out the detail, and then we apply a water-based lacquer so that it kind of holds off the tarnishing. So my parts that I wear that are pewter have lasted me for many years without getting any darker.
Yeah. So the difference, really, what it comes down to with these parts is that you'll notice I was picking, there's still a little bit of museum wax on the back of these from my photo shoot. But most of our components, or a lot of our components, are shipped out for plating. They're shipped out for their silver plating, their gold plating, their plating. And so that's, as you know, that's a layer of metal over the pewter. So what's great about the antique pewter finish is we don't have to ship that out for anything. We do everything in-house. So that also is more environmentally friendly.
It is. That's my favorite part. I love our plated metal. We have such beautiful options, and we do plate our metal locally to us. So, the footprint isn't as humongous as it would be in a larger operation. But anytime you can decrease the amount of transportation is a positive for us and for the environment.
Right.
And, it's just, it's a little bit more eco-friendly.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull out another tray that I have aside or prepared here. So Kierston mentioned the Dolce Vita line. That I think we first started that line. It was about 2015, maybe. And the inspiration behind Dolce Vita was polymer metal clay and the texturing that you can do and the impressions you can do in polymer metal clay. And we wanted to put out a line that kind of had that look. And so we wanted it to be quite rustic. So we only put it out in antique pewter and antique brass, slightly more rustic and toned finishes. Now, since then, we've added a couple of finishes for some of the more parts that need to be used sort of in other types of work. But for the most part, the Dolce Vita was antique pewter. And because we wanted it to have other things to play with, we added that finish in some of our spacers and some of our cones and clasps, because that antique pewter Dolce Vita stuff needed other stuff to work with. So this tray shows you everything we already had available in the antique pewter finish. And it's quite a lot of stuff. And I just put a, I don't think that, so there's a collection, the Pura Vida collection, of course. And we, what, Emily, it's rainy. Emily watches our video regularly and she always says hi from sunny Alabama, and apparently it's not sunny today. So what I was saying, so we had all those the stuff already available in pewter. For this line, Kierston really wanted to add a bunch of other stuff as well as a few new parts. Should we look at the few new parts, Kierston?
Yes, that's always very fun.
Yeah, and then we can talk about the other stuff that we added to the group. Hey, Kierston, we set up this collection. I just put a link in the comments to the La Pura Vida collection, but I don't think that we added all of the previously available parts into that collection. So I don't know if that's something we want to do or not, but I'll see if I can find a link where people can pull up kind of all the stuff and I'd be able to see it in one click, so to speak.
That would be cool. I know you can sort by color on our website, but I don't necessarily think you can sort by finish. So
yeah, I'm not sure. And now I really want to explore that, but I don't want to do it while we're online because okay. So
we digress.
New parts. Tell us about them.
New parts are always exciting, but these are pretty exciting. It's a small little addition of new styles. We did opt to only do it in the 40 finish. I really want to celebrate that look and really get other people to love it as much as me. So I'm on a one-man campaign. But so what we added was our current Dolce Vita line has a 4x2 barrel bead and a 4x2 accompanying end. And so we get requests for 6x2s a lot because you can fit more material in there.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm super happy about it because these barrel beads and crimpable cord ends are so popular in that larger size in this particular pattern. It's just fabulous.
Yeah, so they're made in the same kind of way with that metal clay impressions. If you kind of look at it, you'll see that the surface is kind of undulating. It's got this beautiful kind of swirl motif on them, which I thought was really pretty.
Slightly different front and back.
And they're very crimpable.
Yep. They're also gluable. Now, that is one of the upsides of this. We should have made a list of talking points, Kierston, really. One of the wonderful things, I think you might have touched on it, but since you don't have the plating, you can really manipulate this metal very nicely without worrying about cracking plating. So with this, I just took parallel pliers and smashed it, and it secured the components onto the leather so nicely. But you can also glue them. If you don't want to crimp, you can also use glue.
It is great though for people I feel like you're the same way. I'm very heavy-handed with my smushing. So I really, really want to cinch it down. So you don't have to worry about cracking plate. The other ones you got to be a little more tender with.
Yeah.
And we added what I call a taco style.
We call them on the website there, we call them crimp ends, and we have a pretty nice collection of these. But I love the pattern that we did this with the more Dolce Vita pattern.
It's basically a ribbon crimp. It's in a really, really nice size, kind of in a mid size, and it's a little bit different shape than the other.
Yeah, you can see the
taco
other
style.
ones. You can see the other ones here that we have. We have the really large scroll work one. We have the palace and the concho, and these are kind of more on the slightly smaller end, like the crescent. So they're really useful. This bracelet is done with right angle weave with gemstones, and then I just used size 8, I think, seed beads to make some little ends that would fit inside the crimp end. So they're a really fun way to finish a project.
Really pretty.
And then
these are kind of, it's funny because separated from their friends, it looks like a strange kind of grouping, but these are adorable little baby star and moons.
yeah,
They play so nicely with the rest of the items in our Celestial collection. They are just a really cute scale, and they have an SS9 high quality crystal glued in. We always use the nicest crystals available. And they're just very, very sweet.
Yeah. So that's the newest, that's the new stuff. The rest of the launch was all about, get everything back here on this tray. The rest of the launch was all about adding more items in pewter. And you were super careful about how you made the list of what we were going to add.
Yes. Well, we have so many beautiful parts that honestly I would love for them all to be in the pewter finish, but I was careful to select things that you would want to manipulate, or hammer tone items, which really, really, I think the hammer tone items sing in the pewter finish.
These are one of the groups that I was most excited about, to do just our rings in the pewter unplated finish. That's what I was excited about.
Yeah, our rings are some of our best selling items, and people really use them as building blocks. So it made sense to do the rings, the cord ends that are hammered, some of our favorite bales in this pewter finish, so that you can, it's always funny when you have a part, but it doesn't have any friends to play with. Like, it doesn't have the right finishes with it. I know, Tracy, you're always the champion of the parts to have friends in their finish.
Yeah. I'm like, how can I make anything if there's no spacers to go with it?
They're also much more, besides for being more environmentally friendly and just a really cool finish, they are a little bit, they're less expensive than the plated items, because we do it all in house. So you're getting a little bit more economical also.
I'm going to try and get back to this main screen just so it's zoomed in a little bit more.
Yeah. So some of our larger, heavier parts we did also in this finish for that reason.
Yeah. So for me, with all those additions that you did it so carefully, it means that there's a lot of possibility. There's a lot of components that will play with each other. So I love how careful you and the rest of us were about making this list and going, okay, what about this? And also, especially with these, it was a conscious decision to add them, because you do crimp these and you do crimp the barrel beads, and we wanted stuff that people were going to use in that fashion. We wanted them to be available in the pewter finish. And I am going to look at the website real quick to see if I can't find a link to show everybody the pewter all by its lonesome.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of great things about pewter. There's also, because it is devoid of final plating, like an extra plating layer, it's a hypoallergenic metal. It doesn't have any nickel. It doesn't have any lead. We use a really nice pewter alloy called Britannia. So it's really nice for people that might have metal sensitivities also.
Yeah, I got the link. So this link that I'm throwing in, and I'm going to have to add that to the blog too. So because did I add the blog post to the comments yet? Maybe not. We did do a blog post for this collection, and there are great links in there that will take you to the blog post, the collection, some projects we've created using these parts with these finishes. And the link I just added that shows everything that's available in Pewter Antiqued, I'll add one to the blog. So, Kierston, let's talk about what you can do.
I know, that's so exciting. Mary asked a really exciting question, and I love it. And I would love for you to on-camera demo.
Okay, that's exactly where I was hoping we were going to go.
Yay! When we talk about malleable, we do mean that the rings can be hammered to take on an oval shape. In fact, you can probably use your old trusty pair of rounds and pull the hammered rings into an oval. Tracy, I don't know if you have.
I did not try that, but what I did with them, I'm just pulling the designs out so that people can get a look at some of the manipulation we did. And what Mary is asking about is I didn't make these into an oval, but I really manipulated the rings for these. There's a necklace and a pair of earrings. And I used the same process on both. I really manipulated these rings to give them some, I sawed them for one thing. These are solid rings. So I took a jeweler saw to them and just made a cut in each one so that I could link them together. That is huge for me. And then after I had sawed them, I shaped them first and then I sawed them. But what I used, Kierston, was these half round, half flat nylon jaw plier. And those worked really, really well. And I do have some rings here that I can show you guys. Because I had so much fun mangling these. We have to think of a better word. We really have to think of a better word.
I think manipulating is a great word.
Yeah. So the half round, not half flat nylon jaw pliers were perfect. And I just went in and I squeezed, and then I'd flip the plier over and squeeze again right next to it. Just did that all the way around the piece until I had it nice and like wavy.
It's almost like a hair crimper.
Yes, well, I've never really used one, but yes, I imagine it's like a hair crimper. So it's very easy, and it created this nice rustic look that I really loved. And after I was all done with the crimping, then I went in with the jeweler saw, and I meant to grab one from your shop, Kierston, so that I could show people how easy they are to cut with a jeweler saw. And I just cut a little split in each one of these, and so I could link them together. They open once that is done. They open and close. I'm trying to find the opening on this one. They open just like a jump ring, because pewter is soft enough to be able to do that. So that's what I did to create these earrings and this necklace. And it was really fun, I gotta say.
It's really cool. And they don't work harden as much as other metals do. So you really can bend them quite a few times before you start having to worry about them.
Right. So the question about turning them into an oval, I'm not a metalsmith so much. I've done a little bit, but I'm not nearly as experienced as many people. So how would you turn this into an oval, Kierston?
Do you happen to have a little bit smaller diameter?
I do.
Okay. So there's two ways you could do it. You could smush from the sides, or you could pull from the inside. So usually if I'm going to make like a jump ring into an oval, I'll take a double round plier and pull apart. So you can try that. That might work if you're
you would use round nose pliers like so.
I would actually put both rounds inside.
Oh.
And spread. That's one way to do it. You can do it. There's all different kinds of ways you can do it.
So yeah, that would work with these. Oh,
yeah, there you go.
That was
Just like
so easy. Oh my God.
I know, isn't that fun? You can also, if you were feeling real spicy, you could take a bead cap and turn it more into like an oval shape on the inside.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah, so you can make it
I did
fit
that.
your project.
I did that right here with these
Oh,
little
yeah.
caps that I fit over there. That's super easy. That you just need some flats and just kind of bend it a little bit like that.
Mm-hmm.
That turns it into a
You call it a saddle shape?
yeah. Or we used to call, we had some caps like this once upon a time, and we called them pendant caps, I think. Yeah, so that's a nice little trick too.
Mm-hmm.
All this because there's no plating to worry about.
You can also cut jump rings off and use them and like set a charm into something else if you wanted to. Drill holes.
Yeah, you know, we didn't do any drilling with this group, but making holes in pewter parts has always been. We did a lot of that with the Dolce Vita stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is super fun too. Kierston, sometime, hold on, I'm going to grab another tool.
Grab all the tools. Let's bend everything. Yeah, Mary, you're right. You can bend the cone. You can do a similar thing to the jump ring, and you can kind of shape the cones to, you know, have a little bit more oval opening.
Yeah. So these earrings, Kierston came up with the idea of making the fern. You know what? This might have started the whole line, Kierston, because when we launched our fern link with Woodland a year, was that last fall of 2021, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Winter of 2021? I don't remember. So these wonderful fern links came out, and they're pretty long. They're about 1.5 inches long, and Kierston happened to have some in pewter that hadn't been plated yet, and the first thing she did was make them into a hoop, and she actually demonstrated that at the Bead Fest in Philadelphia last year.
Yeah.
But then they weren't actually available in pewter, and I think that this might have started the whole thing.
Yeah, so you can, truth be told, some of our plated metals you can also very slowly and carefully manipulate into a different shape. But with
It's
the pewter,
true.
you don't have to baby it so much. There's no risk
Yes.
of cracking or anything like that.
It is true. We use bracelet bending pliers on our plated stuff all the time, on our longer components like this. I use bracelet bending pliers on the plated ones all the time. But it's just wonderful. You don't have to worry about it with the pewter finish.
Yeah, that fern, you can turn it all the way into a ring if you're feeling real daring, you know?
Yeah. So it's so easy. I did actually, these earrings are on the website as a project. And to make them, I used a ring mandrel, which was nice because it has the sizes on it that you can say, hold the link here and then, you know, bend it around the ring mandrel. So that is how I formed when I did the pair that I wrote the instructions for. This is how I did it. I just folded them around a ring mandrel. And you could do it by hand too, but what I liked about the ring mandrel is it kept things smooth. It kept the curve smooth instead of creating little bends anywhere, because I didn't want to create bends. I wanted it to be an even curve. So super fun. This is a variation on that idea. All right, what else can we do?
Well, I mean, really, the sky's the limit. You can manipulate them in all kinds of ways. So usually, Mary asked a question. Mary's got all the great questions this morning. She asked if it doesn't work to manipulate them with copper plating, as an example, because of the plating process. And the answer is, you can manipulate them very, very carefully, but you do run a risk of cracking the plate. And if you cut, like, let's just say you want a half circle. Say you want to make one of those large hammer tone circles into a half circle and drill a hole on the top and make it into a 2-to-1 link. You would have on the exposed ends, you would see silver tone instead of copper tone. For some people, they don't care. It doesn't bother them. Maybe they even are going for a mixed metal look, but it does, you know, interrupt the plate. The plate could be more susceptible to cracking once you break through that layer. So.
Yeah, we've definitely done quite a bit of manipulation with some of our other stuff. The brass finish works nicely for it too. I have to say, it seems to be that the gold plate is the one you have to be most careful with, at least in my experience. I might be wrong. I happened to glance back up the thread and see that Mary also asked about manipulating a cone. And so I'm going to try it, Mary. I'm just going to see what happens here. This is our biggest hammer tone cone. And that seems to work pretty well.
Oh yeah, that looks cool. I love that shape.
Yeah, so it just really opens up possibilities. The one other item I wanted to talk about a little bit, Kierston, is we've had this little plain blank for a long time. It goes along with all of our alphabet charms. We wanted to make sure that got added in pewter for stamping purposes. So, for example, with this one, I used Impress Art has a wide variety of stamping stuff. If you guys are not familiar with Impress Art, you should be. They're all about stamping. And there's just amazing things you can do. So with these little charms, the surface is ever so slightly domed on both sides. So you do want to choose stamps that are kind of small and centered. Otherwise, you have to do some angling to get the stamps you want them. But smaller and in the center works really nicely. And for this one, I used one of what they call their crystal setter punches, and I just made a little recess there and then plopped a little flat back in it. And because I wanted that to play nicely with the little new.
Oh, I didn't realize that was actually set into the surface. That is so cool.
Yeah, I guess you could just glue it on top too, but no, I used a punch and made a recess and set the crystal down in there. I also had a nice scratch while I was working with it, but
yeah,
I should polish that out, but I haven't done it.
You know, you could probably do a flush setting. If you're into metalsmithing also, you could probably do a flush setting technique on any of these surfaces also, and really set a faceted stone if you're got those skills and those tools.
Yeah. So was there anything else we wanted to mention to everybody about the new stuff? I mean, we covered a lot there. And I know that you and I talked about, like, well, what we want to make sure we mention this, we want to make sure we mention that. I think we should just say, if you look at the blog, you will, there's a little bit more detail there about the whole group. And maybe there's stuff in there that we forgot to mention here on the live.
Oh, something that I think would be cool just to mention is that we recycle our pewter. So, yeah, in-house, there's so many great things about pewter. That's why that's really why I'm on my pewter crusade, and why we really are adding to the finish, because not only is it beautiful, but it has a lot of advantages. We are able to basically cast to meet our demand instead of making a bunch of wasted product. Not that we recycle everything all the time, but we're able to reuse the pewter in our pots, remelt, and then we also are able to send our pewter off to the same source that we source our pewter from, and they recycle it for us and quite literally send us back the same pewter that's been refined and added some fresh pewter to it.
Yeah. Mary had another good question about using patina paints on pewter. You can do that with any of our finishes, but I'm going to plop a blog link into the comments that covers that, because that is a super good question. And I was highlighting the wrong comment, but anyway, she did ask if they could be patina painted. Yes, they certainly can, Mary. I'm popping a blog link into the comments that is all about putting color on our metals. So Yeah, Kierston was talking about the recycling, and that's one of the things that we're really felt strongly about while we were creating this launch, is that it's a smaller footprint, that it's more environmentally friendly, that that was something we can be proud of.
Yeah. It's even food safe. So if someone makes a spoon out of our pewter, let me know.
Yeah. Hey, and there's also in the blog, everybody, there's a link where you can download the flyer. The flyer's got some fun little, the workspace is getting a little crowded like it always does. So you guys can download the flyer. There's a link in the blog, and there's lots of wonderful little pewter tidbits that we incorporated into the flyer. So it's kind of fun to look through those. A little bit of pewter history, and a little bit of how we work with the pewter. So you can download that on the at the blog post I just included. So I'm going to switch my camera back here. I think we covered everything. So if you guys have any questions, I always try to go through I'm scanning the comments. I always try and go through the comments and catch anything that needs an answer and answer them for you. And you can always, if you have any questions or anything, you can always message us on either Facebook or YouTube too, I guess. Yeah, you can always ask later, and hopefully I can catch those and answer questions. And I think that's all we have to talk about. Yes? No?
We could go on forever, but I think that's it for now. All of our parts are available in this gorgeous finish with special orders. So you can ask your favorite retailer to order it for you, or if you're a direct customer, you can also do that.
Yeah, we do. There's minimums involved, but our customers can have custom runs done. Something available in a certain finish, they can special order that. So that's a nice thing. All right. I really can't think of anything else, you guys. So thank you for joining us. We will be a little quiet on the social media front for a couple of weeks because I'm going on vacation. So there won't be any live streams, at least until the beginning of June. But in the meantime, read the blog. I am going to be posting, off topic here, Kierston.
I got some stuff up my sleeve for you.
Stuff up her sleeve. Yeah, I will be posting. I'll schedule some posts featuring the jewelry designs we did for this launch to publish while I'm gone. So we won't be completely quiet, but I will actually be on vacation, and you guys will just have to, if there's questions or stuff you need a response to, it'll be a couple of weeks before I get back to you.
Take us with you.
What's that?
Take us with you, Tracy.
No, I need to get away from all my work people. I don't know why. I just do. Okay, everybody, thank you. And hope you love the new launch. We're so excited about it. And we'll talk to you again very soon.
Bye.